Today in our social science e-learning class, we are going to discuss the rest of the portion of the subunit Islam and Sufism. Okay, previous class I have already discussed about the Islam and Sufism yesterday. Now today I am going to discuss again the rest of the portion of Islam and Sufism and their silsilas and what are the other Sufi saints. So it is present in your page number 112 and it is that belong to the chapter number 8. So I hope yesterday you have watched that video on Islam and Sufism. What were the major ideas of Sufism? And all the students are requested to mute their microphone and listen. So Sufis are Muslim mystics who left everything for the in search of God, or they also wanted assimilation in God. So a large number of Sufis from Central Asia also settled in Hindustan or India from the 11th century onwards. Okay. So you have read also in the time of the invasion of Sultan Mahmud and Ghori, lot of Sufi saints also came to Indian subcontinent and started living. And this process was strengthened with the establishment of the Delhi Sultanate. And when several major Sufi centers developed all over the subcontinent, and the Chishti Silsila was among the most influential order. Sufis are mainly divided into some groups. You have already read yesterday, and generally as the genealogy of Sufi teachers, each following slightly different method or tariqa of instruction and ritual practices, and that's why different silsilas emerged. And Chishti, Suravardi, Qadiri, Naqshbandi, etc. different silsilas also developed in Indian subcontinent, and among them Chishti was the most popular, and it had a long line of teachers or saints like Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti of Ajmer. You know the Dargah of Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti in Ajmer Sharif. Next one, Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki. Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki was the Sufi saint and was very much popular in Delhi, and Qutbuddin Aibak also built a minar on the name of Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki. You know that is Qutub Minar. And Baba Farid of Punjab, another important Sufi teachers. Khwaja Nizamuddin Auliya is very famous in Delhi, and entire railway station today also named after Hazrat Nizamuddin. And in Gulbarga in Karnataka, that is Bandanawaz Gishuda Raj, also another famous Sufi teacher. So the Sufi masters held their assemblies in their khankas or hospices. So what is the meaning of khankas or hospices? That it is a house of rest for travelers, especially one kept by religious order. Each and every particular Sufi silsilas have different khankas or hospices that were actually Sufi lodge, where they took rest when they were traveling in different parts of the subcontinent in one pilgrimage to another pilgrimage. And devotees of all descriptions, including members of the royalty and nobility, means the Nawab and the Zamindars and their officials, and ordinary people also flocked to these khankas. Why? Because they discussed spiritual matters, shout the blessings of the saints in solving their worldly problems, or simply attended the music and dance sessions organized in these hospices. Today also many people, they believed that the Sufis have some magical powers, and these magical powers can cure their problems, can cure their diseases. So that's why millions of people every year they gathered to these famous Sufi pilgrimages. You have already read in chapter number 6 that the Ajmer was also established as a pilgrimage center, pilgrimage town, because of this Dargah of Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti. And in your hometown also you can see that many dargahs and peertolas are there, and people worshipped in those peertolas every day. Sometimes they in a special type of occasions, okay, they donate something there, they donate money and give assistance in those peertolas. And so these peers also the part of this Sufi culture, and you will read about detail in peers in chapter number 9. Who are the peers? Okay. And also they performed dance and music sessions in the name of God, okay, in different occasions. Today also different jalsas also organized in various Sufi sirines, okay, in various places of Indian subcontinent. And Sufi songs are very much popular among the people today also, you know that. So often people attributed Sufi masters with miraculous powers that could relieve others of their illness and troubles. And the tomb of or dargah of Sufi saints become a place of pilgrimage to which thousands of people of all faiths throng. There is a picture also given in your book that devotees of all backgrounds visit Sufi sirines, okay. So that's all from the Islam and Sufism. So if you have any question you can ask me from this subunit. Okay, Sanchani, no problem. Anyone else? Astha? Okay. So now I am going to introduce the next subunit little bit, and in next class I will discuss that subunit in detail, that is the new religious developments in North India. Okay, new religious developments in North India. And you can write the name of these Sufis. Okay, so these are very much important. Next one, new religious developments in North India. New religious developments in North India. That look at the picture present in page number 113, that some people with some musical instruments, they are dancing and they are singing and dancing here. So it is a picture of Chaitanya Deva. Chaitanya Deva in 16th century Bhakti saint from Bengal, you know that. He born in Navadip in Nadia district and preached selfless devotion to Krishna and Radha. And in the picture you see a group of his followers engaged in ecstatic dancing and singing, that is called Nam Sankirtan. Okay. Kirtan is the main part of this, of their worship. So the period in this after the 13th century saw a new wave of Bhakti movement in North India. Previously you have seen that Alvars and Nayanars and Basavannas, Virasaivism as well as Ramanujam and Shankardeva's Advaitavad and Vishishta Advaitavad. Okay. Now this was an age when Islam, Brahmanical Hinduism as well as Sufism, various strands of bhakti and the Nathpanthis, Siddha, yogis influence one another. So all these different forms actually influence one another because they were practiced in the same place, in the same Indian subcontinent, in the same place they practiced together. So that's why they collected ideas from each other. And we saw the new towns and kingdoms were emerging, and people were talking up new professions and finding new roles for themselves. So such people, especially craftspersons, peasants, traders and laborers, thronged to these new scents and spread their ideas through their crafts. And the commodities, such as the craftspersons also elaborate the scenes of Sankirtan, elaborate the scenes of these different spiritual ideas together in various temples, mosques, syrenes and other buildings. And people were very much influenced by their simple way of worshipping of God, with just the Sankirtan and the other ways such as Nathpanthi Siddha yogis, that yoga and pranayam and some asanas, breathing control. The Sufis also with their Qawwali and other songs and their dancing and some practices like Raqs, Sama, etc. And in this environment in Indian subcontinent, some of the eminent saints also emerged, also they born, like Kabir and Baba Guru Nanak. They rejected all orthodox religious practices that was practiced inside the Brahmanic Hinduism, Vedic Hinduism as well as in Islam. So other like Tulsidas and Surdas, they accepted existing beliefs and practices but wanted to make this accessible to all. And Tulsidas concept of God in the form of Rama. And in this way, the Ramat Vaishnav tradition also emerged, that previously the devotion of the Vishnu was popular, now the another form or another incarnation of Vishnu, that is the Rama, was very much popular, and people worshipping the Rama or Ram. And Tulsidas composed Ramacharita Manas. It is written in Awadhi language, in Uttar Pradesh, Awadhi language. Okay, there are a lot of different languages in UP also, like Brajabuli, Awadhi, etc. Practiced and spoken in Mathura and Awadh, means today's Ajodha or those region. Okay. And it is important for both expression of his devotion and as a literary work. Surdas also ardent devotee of Krishna, Surdas also an ardent devotee of Krishna, and his composition compiled in the Sur Sagara, Suro Saravali and Sahitya Lahari. These are 3 books composed by the Surdas, also a devotee of Krishna. He believed he was a slave of Krishna. So mainly 5 types of different types of worshipping of Krishna or Vishnu was seen inside the Vaishnava sect. Sometimes they worshipped the Vishnu or Krishna as their beloved, sometimes they worshipped as a slave, so that's why they took the surname Das, Surdas. Sometimes they worshipped the Krishna as their friend, Sakha. Sometimes they worshipped as their son, okay, or child. So in this way, different type of different form of devotion you can see in this medieval period. Also contemporary was Shankardeva of Assam. In Assam, Shankardeva was another Sufi and another Bhakti saint. In 15th century he was born, and who emphasized devotion to Vishnu and composed poems and plays in Assamese. In Assam it was greatly influenced, so the Vaishnava movement also greatly influenced the Asomia people by Shankardeva. Okay, and he composed poems and plays in Assamese, and he began to practice of setting up namghars or houses of recitation and prayer. Okay, she also established namghars or the houses of recitation and prayer, and a practice that continues to date. Today also they are practiced in Assam. Ardent means very intense devotee. Okay, intense devotee, Asta, intensely worship the Krishna. So because they only worship Krishna, and all the time, day and night, thinking about the Krishna, nothing else. So this is the ardent devotee, Surdas, and in Ramat Vaishnav tradition, Tulsidas was the ardent devotee of Lord Ram. Okay, students, so that's all from today's class. So next day I am going to discuss the rest of the portion of the subunit new religious developments in the North India. Okay, and tell you about Mirabai and Ravidas. So if you have any question, you can ask me. And do one thing, just mention your name and present in the chat box. Okay, I will take your attendance from here. So all the students are requested to mention their name and present in the chat box. I will take their attendance. Okay, Sharana, Devangshu, Shobhik, Priyanka, Astha, Supriyo, Ishita, Sanchari.